Eliminating Stress, Module 6, Us, a three principles based presentation. Copyright David Philip Kromke, 2024. So, our learning objectives are one, distinguishing thought from reality. Now, that could be as simple as thinking you had a doctor's appointment, but it's actually tomorrow. Understanding human innocence and compassion as well, because when you see innocence, you automatically feel more compassionate. And understanding a bit about facilitating change. As I mentioned in a previous module, every experience of life consists of us viewing thought brought to consciousness. Thought provides life with form. Consciousness is the formless light that illuminates thought and brings it to life. So, what role do we play? Well, when we go to a movie theater, we go in the hopes that the movie will be good, which means we'll get caught up in the story. We also know that if getting caught up in the movie overwhelms us, like we get shocked, frightened, or grieved, we can withdraw our engagement for a time and recover our bearings. The getting caught up occurs when, at the moment, we're willing to consider what's going on as real, and recovering our bearings occurs when we recognize that it is just a movie and we release our mental hooks from it. In a similar manner in life, we may sink our mental hooks into thought and get caught up, or release them and regain perspective and peace. How does this happen? When we come into this world, we're basically a projector of the light of our consciousness. As new arrivals, we have very, very few experiences or thoughts we can think. Just how far back into your youth can you recall? As the light of our consciousness emerges from within, we are filled by its warmth, and as we look out at the world that we are illuminating, we are dazzled by what we see. That's the power consciousness has to illuminate. Babies watch the simplest things with joy and wonder. While we are viewing the things of this world, we also feel enraptured by the loving warmth of our consciousness. However, since our consciousness is invisible to us, we innocently conclude that our beautiful feelings are provided by the things of the world we are viewing. This error in understanding happens in innocence because at that time of life, we certainly don't have enough thinking to formulate any malicious plans. Understanding the matter of our innocence allows us to have compassion for ourselves if we struggle. Compassion allows us to disengage from those thoughts. We can also extend the same compassion to others, for they almost surely are struggling through life in a similar manner. In this way, gaining understanding changes our world and our interactions with it. We have innocently and extremely early on in life mistakenly concluded that happiness is produced by the stuff of life. That assumption has happened at a time significantly prior to our having any ability to evaluate its validity. As a result, it became an integral part of our approach to life. As time progresses, we accumulate more and more thoughts which we can entertain. As a result, life acquires more detail to which we are drawn and upon which we focus. However, having become captivated by the form, we add more significance to, focus on, and attend to the greater number of thoughts that appear. Our minds get busier, and we are drawn away from the warmth of our consciousness, which provides the substance, the silent and beautiful feelings we revere as we pass through life. Over time, we attend so constantly to the details of our thinking that life loses its luster and happiness seems an infrequent experience. If we're not at peace in life, not happy in some way, but still firmly believe that happiness comes from the stuff of life, we try to rearrange life by engaging in what I call stuff acquisition and management. We try to get more stuff. If it seems hard to get it, we steal it. Different stuff, better stuff, less stuff, move our stuff around, get more friends, different friends, better friends, fewer friends, do more things, less things, better things, different things, rearrange our schedules, acquire more status, less status, different status, monitor our status, get more beliefs, different beliefs, better beliefs, no beliefs. Does this sound familiar? However, the effort we make in this manner makes our minds busier, more focused, more tense, and draws us further and further away from the warmth and happiness of our consciousness, primarily because we still believe that happiness is found in the stuff of life. If you recall the funnel diagram from the previous module, you'll recall that more tense, busy, and focused are indications that our level of functioning has dropped, making us less capable of solving our problems. We can't get more of what's within us by managing the stuff that's outside us. Addressing the stuff that is outside us, including what we think has happened in our past, as if it is relevant in the manner of our happiness, is not the answer. Regardless of how hard we try, our efforts are frequently frustrated. Now, in fact, the stuff of our lives does need some degree of management, and managing it is easier if we're not counting on it to make us happy. Please note that we make more intelligent decisions when we have peace of mind. If we believe achieving a goal or making some kind of acquisition will produce happiness, when we achieve that goal or obtain whatever it was that we wanted, we relax for a bit because we believe at last we've acquired what we need. That relaxation and reduction of focusing and concentration or strain is what returns us to the warmth of our consciousness and not the acquisition itself. This return to warmth then justifies in our minds that the stuff of the world indeed produces our happiness, and going after it was worth the effort. However, because we're in the habit of focusing on the details of life, it won't be long before we once again lose track of our happiness and try to find more ways to get what has already been born into us. Our understanding of life at that time can involve long periods of grinding and effort, followed by brief periods of happiness. Mental health professionals might consider this behavior as symptomatic of bipolar illness. We might also look around to see what others are doing to get happiness, but almost all of them are as lost as we are, so that tends not to help. We've built up a lifetime of habits, skills, and beliefs to which we strongly adhere, but which will not deliver the happiness we seek. If we view obtaining happiness as a competition for others' approval, we may try very hard in some way to be special. This makes our minds busier with strategizing and keeping an eye on the competition, lest we get cut off from the little happiness that seems available. So little seems available because others are engaged in similar distracting activities as well. Almost everyone is self-obscuring their natural inner peace. This is the basic problem with the world today. In contrast, being ordinary allows our minds to quiet down, reconnect with our inner peace, and allow our natural loving nature to once again emerge. There's honestly nothing we need to do to have what has already been with us even before we were born. When we're at peace, we have a clearer view of matters and make better decisions in our lives. Eliminating Stress, Module 6, Us. A 3 principles based presentation. Copyright David Philip Kromka, 2024.